Hello people, it is Jacob the Wild Man here, and we are talking about road trips today.
One dog, man! One dog over the line!
Not that kind of road trip. Well, technically that one. You know what I mean.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Now this is pretty self-explanatory. Just pick a place and drive there. Stay in hotels, blah blah blah. But there's actually a lot more to it. I've been a lot of places. I've been to 42 of the states on road trips. Here is a map. And I've learned a lot of things along the way, so here's just some tips so you guys don't have a bad time.
And the sky was full of what looked like huge bats, all swooping and screeching and diving around the car.
Alright, let's dive in. Oh, by the way, this is Mac. Look at her. Oh, yeah, it's a bird right there. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about is how to plan your route. So there's a lot of different ways you can plan it, but the first thing I would think about is how much time you actually have. So if you're going on, like, say a 7-day road trip, personally, I only really like to drive like 4 to 5 hours a day. During one of my road trips, did 7,000 miles in 22 days or so, and I really feel like that was pushing it. We drove about 6 hours, 5-6 hours a day, 7 hours a day sometimes, and I really wish we would have driven less, so I recommend driving about 4 to 5 hours, wake up early, get the driving done, and enjoy where you are. You're experiencing the country, you're experiencing the road trip, you're experiencing all these different places, and you don't want to be tired when you get there and just want to go to sleep or something. Just enjoy where you are. I really think it's about quality over quantity. Instead of going like 8,000 miles or something, go 5,000 miles and just enjoy that part. Spend more time in the little towns and just spend more time having quality time in exploring places instead of just trying to drive as fast as you can and see as much as possible.
It's about the ride, for Christ's sake.
Also, it is pretty good to plan at least 2 days of emergency days because you never know what could happen, and also you could just really want to stay somewhere else for an extra day. Just plan 2 blank days so that in case anything changes or you need to change your route, which always ends up happening. I've always ended up using those days. Just plan 2 days, it will help you, it'll save you. And also another trick that I have too with planning the route is try to plan where you're going to sleep. So I would choose, okay, this night we're going to sleep here, then 500 miles from there, or however many miles you want to travel in the next day. Say if you only drive for like 5 hours, just do like 350 miles or something like that, and choose a destination. Once you get there, hang out there and find a campground or something and go to sleep in that place. So you know, like, generally how long it's going to take to get each place, and you can map out each day. Alright, now the second category that we're talking about is sleeping. Where are you going to sleep? Personally, I don't recommend sleeping in hotels the whole time. It gets really expensive doing that. Maybe 1 or 2 days a week. It's nice to like get a nice comfy bed, but I would personally try to camp as much as possible. There's many awesome places, especially if you're out west, where you can go on national forest or Bureau of Land Management lands. There's a lot of just side dirt roads you can travel down, and there's camping spots, and there's so many. Get a campground with a shower if you want to shower, but there's so many ways to save money and actually enjoy the places you're in. There's nothing like waking up to the mountains right in front of you instead of waking up in a hotel room. It's amazing.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
And I will leave the link below for freecampsites.net. It is the best website, I think, personally, for finding places to stay. It is basically a giant map that you can go on. Here, I'm going to put it on the screen now so you guys can see it, but it is a giant map you guys can go on, and you can see all of the different free campsites as well as paid campsites, and it tells you a description of them. Some of them have pictures, and it's amazing to try to find free places to stay. The third thing that we're going to be talking about is food. Instead of going out to restaurants every day or getting a lot of takeout, that gets crazy expensive. I personally bring a cooler, or you can even get a mini fridge that plugs into your car and just try to cook as much food as possible.
A hamburger? No, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog. I want a milkshake. I want potato chips. You'll get nothing.
I would get a 2-burner stove, something like that, bring a cast iron pan, some propane, and you can cook on the side of the road. And as you can see, I've done it so many times, and it's really awesome to be having great views as you're eating your homemade food and saving a lot of money along the way.
Because it saves money.
Alright, another tip is to take turns driving with whoever you're with. If you're with yourself, obviously, nothing you can really do about that. You're lonely. But if you are with someone else, you should take turns driving so that the day goes by smoother. Both of you can take time to take in the scenery and stuff, and it just feels like you're not driving as long. I've also done you drive one day and the other person drives the other way. Now, the other day. But I found that if you just take turns driving on the same day, for me, it personally works better.
That's my opinion!
Now here is a pretty important one. I think you should always stop whenever you see something cool. Even if you didn't think you were going to go there first, even if you think you don't have time, I just think that it's part of the experience that you are exploring. It's all about adventure. Just go, you see something crazy on the side of the road. Like one time I saw this gigantic crane on the side of the road and my phone was dead. I went towards it. And as I was going towards it, my tire started to shake and I realized that the nuts on my tire were not there. Were like barely on. And I got off the highway to do that. And because I got off the highway, luckily I saw that my tire was falling off, which is weird. But so it ended up working out. For one, I got to see a giant crane, and two, it happened to help me out so my tire didn't fall off on the highway. Everything happens for a reason. But my favorite part of a road trip in general is to just take the back roads and go slow, enjoy myself, and just try to look at and find like old cool shops. Just that's all part of the experience, is instead of just trying to rush, always be asking, oh, when are we going to get to our next place? Just enjoy the experience of getting through, because it is a road trip after all.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Hey, are we there yet?
On the subject of taking the long way, I do recommend taking back roads as much as you can. Like I said, it doesn't really have to be the furthest distance road trip. I think it's a lot about quality over quantity. Just figure out where you're going to go. I love taking back roads so you can really see the countryside. You can really like meet the people. Make sure you go to local restaurants, and it's different than just driving through a state on the highway. Drive through on the back roads and you really see what the state is like. And the last one is just take a bunch of pictures. It's worth it. You want to get those memories, and you're going to look back at them in a couple years, especially if you're always traveling like me, and it's awesome to see the memories, so make sure that you take pictures. Except one time I lost a camera in Utah. I was borrowing a camera from my girlfriend's grandparents, and I lost it. Left it on the trailhead. Bad Jacob. So I sadly lost all those pictures.
All those moments will be lost in time.
But I took many more and I still look at them to this day. I love just documenting everything. So I highly recommend that you stop and take pictures as much as you can. Get yourself some memories, because I hate when I regret, like when I'm trying to show somebody something and I haven't taken a picture of it. But I also am kind of a photographer, so I like taking pictures. Alright, those are my tips for having a successful and fun road trip. To recap, you gotta figure out your route, you gotta not try to go too far in one day, try to stay in campgrounds and not be staying in hotels the whole time, and try to save money, more enjoy the experience, try to cook your own meals and get creative and have fun with your friends, because it's more fun than going out to eat every night. But make sure that you also enjoy yourself along the way. Take a bunch of pictures. Stop when you see something cool, take your time, enjoy yourself, and love life. Alright, wild people. Have a good one.